The right wing is as idiotic as the left wing.
Left,
Right wing is
left wing.
right.
So what are right-wing and left-wing ideologies? Now, to understand the concept of left and right, let's take you back to 18th century France. In the year 1789, the members of the French National Assembly, they convened to draft the constitution, debating the extent of King Louis XVI's authority. Now the debate raged, with anti-royalist revolutionaries gathering to the left of the presiding officer, while conservative aristocratic supporters, they gathered to the right of the presiding officer. Now, who do you think would be in support of the king? Those who are already benefiting, or those who want the status quo to remain? Now, this involved the high-born nobles, members of the church, and others who benefited from the king's rule. They wanted the status quo to remain. But those seated on the left, they were opposing the king's rule. These were the people on the left who wanted change. They were the commoners who sought equality. They sought a republic and welfare for all. Now, in the 1790s, newspapers in those days began making references to the progressive left and the traditionalist right of the French National Assembly. Soon this ideology of left and right on the political spectrum, it spread to other parts of the world. Now in the context of the US, they were facing a different problem. The problem of racism, the whites and the blacks. The whites were the privileged who were the status quoists. They could also be called the right-wingers in the US, and the blacks, they were the ones who were deprived. So they were pro-change and thus called the left-wingers. Similarly, when it came to the feminist movements throughout history, those who were in favor of change were the leftists, who opposed the idea of giving women equal rights or initially just voting rights. They wanted things to remain as they were. They were the rightists. Now, wait for this. This is a twist. What if the same women standing up for their rights, or if we call them the leftists, they start to feel threatened when another minority group, LGBTQA community, begins to protest for their rights? Now they become the status quoists, wanting stability, and the protesters, they become the pro-change group. Now this shows us that the concept of left and right can be subjective beyond some extent. If I stand on the right and you stand on my right, you are on the right, because the world is not just black and white. Now, in addition to these, there are also centrists and moderate ideologies, where people who don't identify with those from either ends of the spectrum stand. Now, the next time you're having a political conversation and you're not sure which side you belong to, let's hope this helps you convey your feelings, whether you're left or right, correctly. Which is, if you want to put a label to it. Well, let's come back to the context of India. The issue plaguing the society here was the caste system. There were those who were not willing to abolish it and continued to practice it. They were initially the rightists, and the people opposing the caste system, they were the leftists. So now, which parties do you think present the status quoists who want things to remain as they are, and which are pro-change? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and share which end of the spectrum you belong to.